Do I have permission to open the training site? Roger. Good afternoon. My name is Specialist Eifling-Patterson, and I will be conducting this period of instruction. Today we'll be discussing task 071-Charlie Oscar Mike-1016, convert azimuths. This training is unclassified. Before we begin, we'll be conducting a brief risk assessment. There are no outside safety hazards while inside. However, please be mindful of your surroundings. Make sure you keep your lids on your drinks, and please watch out for cords and other tripping hazards on the floor. Please place any bags in the back of the room to make space for walking. In the case of a fire, please exit the building at the closest main exit and contact your SGL once safe. In case of an active shooter, we'll be using the run, hide, and fight method in that order to escape the threat. Ensure all your gear remains on during the duration of this class. That being said, the overall risk assessment is low. With that out of the way, let's conduct a quick PCC and PCI check. I need to see everyone's map, note-taking gear, be it pencil and notebook paper, and a water source. Great, everyone has what they need. We can now begin training. Like I said before, our task today is 071-Charlie Oscar Mike-1016, convert azimuths. It can be found in STP-21-1, which I have a copy of on me right here. I will now read you the conditions and standards of today's training. Conditions. You are a member of a squad preparing to conduct tactical movement, and you have been directed to convert azimuths in preparation for the movement. You have been given a 1 in 50,000 military map with a declination diagram, pencil, paper, and a magnetic azimuth, and a grid azimuth. Some iterations of this task should be performed in Mach 4. None of the training today will be conducted in Mach 4. Standards. Convert an azimuth into a back azimuth, a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth, and a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth without error. With all that covered, we will start on the performance steps. First is to convert an azimuth into a back azimuth. To do that, you simply take your azimuth, and if it is greater than 180 degrees, then you subtract 180 degrees to get your back azimuth. So for instance, if I had an azimuth of 290 degrees, because it is greater than 180, I would subtract 180 to get a back azimuth of 110 degrees. If my azimuth is less than 180 degrees, then I would add 180 degrees to find the back azimuth. So if I had an azimuth of 70 degrees, which is less than 180, I would then add 180 to get a back azimuth of 250 degrees. When converting azimuths into back azimuths, extreme care should be exercised when adding or subtracting the 180 degrees. A simple mathematical mistake could have disastrous consequences on your answer. Our second performance step is to convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. To do that, you will locate the GM angle in your declination diagram on your map. It can usually be found in the lower margins of the map, and it will tell you if your map is easterly or westerly. So to convert from a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth, if you have an easterly GM angle, you are going to take your magnetic azimuth and add your GM angle, and that will give you your grid azimuth. So if my magnetic azimuth is 180 degrees, to convert that to a grid azimuth, then I'm going to add whatever my GM angle is. So let's say it's 10 degrees. That would make my grid azimuth 190 degrees. Now, if I were somewhere with a westerly angle, then I would do the opposite. To convert from magnetic azimuth to grid azimuth, I would subtract the GM angle. So if I had a magnetic azimuth of 200 degrees and my GM angle is 10 degrees, then I would subtract 10 from 200 and end up with 190 degrees grid azimuth. Our third performance step is to convert a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth. So the opposite from what we did before. So if we have an easterly GM angle, you're going to subtract your GM angle from your grid azimuth to get a magnetic azimuth. So let's say my grid azimuth is 70 degrees, and I have an easterly GM angle of 10. Then I'm going to subtract 10 from 70 to get 60 degrees as my magnetic azimuth. If I have a westerly GM angle, then to go from grid to magnetic azimuth, I'm going to add that GM angle. So if my grid azimuth is 100 degrees, and my GM angle is 30 degrees, then add those together to get my magnetic degrees of 130. It all can be a little bit confusing at times, but it's important to remember and to know if you have an easterly GM angle or a westerly GM angle. So you have to pay very close attention to your declination diagram on your map. Situational awareness is key. All right, at this time, does anyone have any questions on what was covered? None? All right. You will now have 5 minutes to practice everything we have gone over in this lesson. Begin. All right, your 5 minutes are up. Does anyone have any questions at this time? No? Okay. This concludes the practice portion. We will now begin our evaluation. I will restate our task conditions and standards so that you will understand what you are evaluated on. The task covered was 071-Charlie Oscar Mike-1016, convert azimuths. Our conditions was being a member of a squad preparing to conduct tactical movement, and you were tasked to convert azimuths in preparation for the movement. You have been given a 1 in 50,000 military map with a declination diagram, pencil paper, and a magnetic azimuth and a grid azimuth. Some iterations of this task should be performed in Mop 4. The standard today was convert an azimuth into a black azimuth, a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth, and a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth without error. You will need a go in all 3 performance measures to be fully trained. Right, so if everyone understands the task, conditions, and standards, and the goes, we will now begin the evaluations. All members of the team will be evaluated. Begin. All right, evaluations are complete. We have 2 trained personnel and 1 untrained personnel. For those who failed, there will be a retrain and retest tomorrow at 1300, same location as today, in duty uniform. At this time, I would like to conduct a PCC real quick to make sure everyone has everything that they use today in class. Everyone show me your map, your study gear, and your water source. Good, everyone has what they have. At this time, I would like to perform an after-action review. What was supposed to happen during today's lesson? We were supposed to train in converting different types of azimuths. Is this what happened? Okay. What went right? I agree. What went wrong with the class? Okay. How do I improve training for next time? Okay, thank you. To summarize this ARR, we went over what should have happened, what did happen, what went right and what went wrong, and what I can do to improve for next time. Is that correct? Good. At this time, I would like to ask if anybody has any injuries from today's training that I need to know about. Great, no injuries. Our controls and safety measures worked. Let me go over the paperwork real quick, so please sit tight. All right, that concludes our block of instructions. At this time, please conduct a police call and pick up any garbage left around the training area. And you are dismissed back to your unit. At this time, I'd like to request closing of this training site. Thank you.